Welcome in, everybody, here to Sanford Memorial Stadium in beautiful Sanford, Florida. We have a beautiful day for baseball. My name is Will Barbera, and we do thank you for spending part of your Wednesday afternoon as we have a great matchup here in the Florida High School Invitational Classic Tournament. You're watching on FloridaLeagueTournaments.com, and it is, like I said, Will Barbera. We have a great matchup here. The Dr. Phillips Panthers up against the Western Wildcats. And Western Wildcats taking the field now, warming up here for the first inning. On the hill for the Western Wildcats, it is Jack Cahall, who comes in with a 2-1 record. Is a 4.36 earned run average in 5 appearances so far this season. He also had in 17 and 2/3 innings. He has 13 walks and 19 strikeouts. So he will take the mound as we will give you a look at the starting lineup for the Dr. Phillips Panthers. Leading things off, number 1, shortstop Diego Diaz, batting second. First baseman, number 23, Chris Pedrinen, batting third baseman, number 13, Jace Jennings, batting cleanup, number 22, catcher Brady Cohn, batting fifth, number 10, designated hitter and starting pitcher Ryan Pica, batting sixth, number 17, left fielder Edwin James. Batting seventh, right fielder number 24, Ramses DeMaio. Batting eighth, second baseman number 2, Maddox Stinson. And batting ninth, number 21, center fielder Dylan Lynch. So that is your starting lineup for the Dr. Phillips Panthers. And a couple of people to take or keep an eye on, rather, here, as we have former Leesburg Lightning and UCF standout Logan Blum leading the team for Dr. Phillips. Second consecutive season in the Classic, third time in the last 4 years as well. And they bring a veteran team to this Classic. 11 seniors coming in, as well as 7 other players with 3+ years of varsity experience. They also boast a pair of college commits, Maddox Stinson, who's committed to Coker, and Diego Diaz, who's committed to CCBC Catonsville. And we are just about ready to start things off here from Sanford Memorial Stadium. The 8-8 Dr. Phillips Panthers take on the 10-5 Western Wildcats. Wildcats have won 3 in a row, looking for their 4th consecutive. Dr. Phillips lost 1-0 to Lyman yesterday in their last game, so they look to get back into the win column. First pitch from Cahall. Swing and a miss, 0-1, and we are underway. So here is Diego Diaz to lead things off. He's hitting .260 on the season. And he grounds that one to third, backhanded from the knees. Will the throw get there in time? And it is not able to be scooped out, as that was Julian Alvarez, the Wildcats' third baseman, who made a really nice play from his knees, but not able to make an accurate throw to first base. So Diaz reaches on the throwing error. And here is Chris Pedrinen, the first baseman, who comes in hitting .286 on the year, just 8 RBIs. So he'll bat with nobody out and a runner on. As that one is in the dirt, blocked, but kept in front of is the catcher Jorge Falligan. Third baseman Jace Jennings in the on-deck circle. He leads the Panthers with 2 home runs in this season. The 1-0. Fly ball to deep right field, and that one is going to go foul into the bullpen down the right field line. So it'll be a ball and a strike. Diaz this season doesn't look like, looking to see if there's any stolen base statistics. Doesn't look like they have it here on Max Preps, as that one is lined right back up the middle, a base hit. First hit of the day, and back-to-back base runners for the Panthers here in the top of the first. So up to second goes Diaz, and now Pedrinen on first. And here's Jace Jennings. Comes in hitting .370 on the year. 2 home runs, 11 RBIs. So he has a big RBI opportunity already here against K-Hall. Diaz off of second, Pederden off of first. The first pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice breaking pitch to the outside there by K-Hall. 0-1. Brady Cone, the catcher, in the on-deck circle. If Jennings can get on. The 0-1. Just below the zone for ball one. Count now even at 1 apiece. The 1-1 coming. Dribbled back to the mound to the left of K-Hall. Charging is the shortstop. Throw to first base is in time. Nice stretch and an even better charging play by Luis Torres, the Wildcat shortstop, and that's for the first out. Both runners do advance, so it works basically the same as a sacrifice. But it's a big batter to get out, and that will bring Brody Cone to the plate. So 1 out and 2 runners in scoring positions here for the first. Cone comes in hitting .217. No home runs, 6 RBIs, 10 hits and 46 at-bats. Panthers just need a fly ball, push their first run across, and he swings and misses at the first pitch. It's 0-1. And Ryan Pica, the starting pitcher and designated hitter in the on-deck circle. One. Ground ball hit hard to second base, fielded cleanly. Throw to first base is in time. A run does cross the plate. Play is made by Christian Morales. So it's an RBI ground out for Brady Cone. And it's 1-0. Up to third base goes Pedrinen. So here's Ryan Pica looking to help his own cause here. He's been excellent on the mound this season. Just allowed 11 hits. He struck out 19 batters across 19 innings of work. As he lines a base. Oh, what a catch! I could have sworn that was going to sneak through the left side, but a diving play by Julian Alvarez to rob Pica of a hit ends the inning. 1 run does score for the Panthers on the RBI ground out by Cone. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Panthers 1, the Wildcats coming up. Back here for the bottom of the first inning from Sanford Memorial Stadium. And it is 1-0 Panthers, and it will be Ryan Pica, who actually recorded the last out of the inning at the plate. Line drive out to the third baseman. And the first pitch to Ethan Diaz is outside for ball one. Diaz comes in hitting .451, leading hitter as he lines that one to right center field, and it will drop in the right center field gap. Around first, heading for second is Diaz, and he'll stop there. A leadoff double off of Pica, who I was just about to sing his praises for how well he's done this year, but not a good start there. So an extra base hit, and that will bring Landon Young to the plate. Young hitting .419. No home runs and 9 RBIs on the season, and has a chance to push that into double digits with a base hit here. As first pitch from Pica is outside to Young. But I was just about to talk about Pica. He's been excellent in 2026. He's allowed just 11 hits, and he struck out 19 batters across 19 innings of work. But in trouble early here. That one's outside, ball two. So Ethan Diaz, the center fielder, led off with an RBI double. Right fielder Landon Young batting second. Catcher Jorge Falligan batting third. First baseman Gavin Andrew batting cleanup. Batting fifth, second baseman Christian Morales. And a few look backs as that one is in there for a called strike, 2-1 now. Batting sixth, designated hitter Anthony Beira. Batting seventh, shortstop Luis Izturis. Batting eighth, third baseman, as the pitch comes in, that one's outside. Third baseman Julian Alvarez, and batting ninth, left fielder Faustino Diaz. So 3-1 is now the count. The 3-1 pitch. Dribbled up the third baseline, fielding, throwing over to first, and a nice dig by the first baseman. And that is Jace Jennings, the third baseman, on the bare hand, and a nice scoop over at first base as well by Chris Pedronon. So that does allow Diaz to get to third. So runner now 90 feet from the plate with one out, and here is Jorge Falligan. Hitting .442. No home runs and 11 RBIs. Chance to tie it here with a base hit or a fly ball. Check swing, did not go around for ball one. First baseman Gavin Andrew in the on-deck circle for the Wildcats. 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. That ball is lined back up the middle, a base hit. And an RBI single by Jorge Falligan brings home Ethan Diaz, and the Wildcats have tied this bad boy up at one apiece here in the bottom of the first.
The plate, first baseman, Gavin Andrew. First runner at first base, Leo.
12th RBI of the season, and here is Gavin Andrew now as we have a courtesy runner at first. It'll be number 1, Leo Mirabal. And here is Gavin Andrew. First pitch. In there for a called strike, going 1. Andrew comes in hitting .467 with a home run and 18 RBIs. There's a throwback over to first base, nothing doing. So some good power production in the batter's box here as the 0-1. Inside, count even at 1 apiece. Christian Morales, the second baseman in the on-deck circle. Still just 1 out. Inning started with a leadoff double. And a ground out to third and then an RBI single. 1-1. Line to right field, and that is going to get down. It's a fair ball. And it'll just be a single as Falligan stops at second base. But back-to-back singles now. Third hit of the inning off of Pica. And that'll bring Morales to the plate, who's hitting .300. No home runs, but 11 RBIs, and he has a chance to add to that total here. And if you're the Panthers, you got to be setting up and thinking about turning a double play here. Try and get out of this, still just tied. First pitch. Outside for ball 1. Infield shaded more towards the left. Big hole between the first and second baseman and the right side of that infield. The 1-0. Foul back to the screen. Count now even. Designated hitter Anthony Beira in the on-deck circle. A lot of checks back to second base. 1-1 is swung on and missed. 1-2 now as the catcher for the Panthers, Brady Cohn, was thinking about throwing back behind Andrew at first base. Decided against it at the last second. So it'll be a ball and 2 strikes. One, two. Just outside to even the count at 2 apiece. Two. Dribbler up the third baseline. It'll roll foul before Jennings can get to it. So we'll do the 2-2 one more time. Panthers scored a run on an RBI ground out in the first inning. Wildcats tied it up with an RBI single. Looking to take the lead as that ball is grounded through the hole on the left side, a base hit. And stopping at third base is Mirabal, the pinch runner who came in for Falligan. So bases are now loaded. That's 3 straight singles for the Wildcats. And that will bring up Anthony Beira. And Beira comes in hitting .520. No home runs and 9 RBIs on the year. And he swings and misses at a first pitch that was a little too inside. Don't believe it would have been a strike, but it is now, 0-1. And he fouls that back, so it'll be 0-2 very quickly. Luis Torres, the shortstop, is in the on-deck circle. 1 out, bases loaded. We're tied at 1 here in the bottom of the first inning as that bounces to the plate, blocked by Cohn. So it'll be a ball and 2 strikes. The pitch outside. He's worked it even 2-2. Two. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And a huge strikeout there for Pica. His first of the game. Got him to chase. And there are 2 outs, and that'll bring Luis Torres to the plate. Who's hitting .286, no home runs, 7 RBIs. And he could be the last chance to come through for the Wildcats as he fouls the first pitch off of himself for strike 1. Julian Alvarez, the third baseman, waiting in the wings if his Torres can get on, which would give the Wildcats a lead. Ball grounded to second base. Fielded, bobbled, throw to first base is in time, and a good job to recollect himself and record the out by second baseman Maddox Stinson. Wildcats leave him loaded, but they do tie it up on an RBI single by Jorge Falligan. We go to the top of the second, tied at 1. Back here for the top of the second inning from Sanford Memorial Stadium, we've got the Western Wildcats and the Dr. Phillips Panthers going at it. My name's Will Barbera. Once again, want to thank you for joining us here on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon for baseball. And leading things off, it'll be Edwin Jameis, the left fielder. It'll be Jameis, Ramses DeMaio, the right fielder, and then second baseman Maddox Stinson here in the second inning against K-Hall, who did allow a run on an RBI ground out by Brady Cohn. It was not earned after a leadoff error. So first pitch hit high and deep to right field, going back, still going back, and making the running catch. Really nice play by the outfielder there. That's Landon Young, who got on his horse and tracked it down for the first out here in the second. So that's going to bring up Ramses DeMaio. He's hitting just .087 on the season. No home runs and no RBIs. 1 out, nobody on. The pitch from K-Hall. A called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Maddox Stinson, the second baseman in the on-deck circle. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 0-2 now. .02 from K-Hall. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1-2-3 goes Ramses DeMaio, and with 2 outs, that'll bring Stinson to the plate. First strikeout for K-Hall. And here's Maddox Stinson hitting .135, no home runs, 2 RBIs on the year. Has no extra base hits either this season, as that one is in the dirt, ball 1. Stinson, the senior, he graduates this year in 2026. 1 out. Hard ground ball and nearly catches K-Hall on the way back, but it gets into center field. So a 2-out single by Maddox Stinson. Second hit of the game. And that's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, center fielder Dylan Lynch, who comes in hitting .083. No home runs and 1 RBI. Just 2 hits and 24 at-bats for Lynch this season. Trying to keep a 2-out rally moving here as the first pitch is not in there. It's outside for ball 1. 1-0. Line drive, caught by the first baseman, and that will do it. Nice play by Gavin Andrew to end the inning. One hit, one runner left on base for the Panthers. We go to the bottom of the second. We are tied at 1. Back here in the bottom of the second inning, we're tied at 1. Anybody's ball game so far. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Western Wildcats against Pica in his second inning of work. It'll be Julian Alvarez, the third baseman, and then double Diaz action at the 9 and 1 spots with Faustino Diaz and then Ethan Diaz. First at bat for Alvarez. First pitch to him is popped up, foul. And loud bang on top of the stadium here at Sanford Memorial. Alvarez comes in. That's in there for strike 2. Hitting 167, no home runs and 2 RBIs. Took me a minute to find it. 0-2. Hard ground ball right back to Pica. Nonchalantly trots over and throws him out at first. 1 away. So 1 out, and here comes Faustino Diaz, who is hitting 238. No home runs, but does have 4 RBIs this season. Also has a double and a triple, so definitely has some speed and extra base power. 1 out, and the first pitch to him is in there for a called strike. Wildcats put 5 hits on the board in the first inning as Diaz swings through that one. It's 0-2. Only were able to push 1 run across. They left the bases loaded. They had bases loaded with 1 out and then a strikeout and a ground out to end the inning. So that one's outside, 1-2. So missed opportunity there. Now trying to get Ethan Diaz on the top of the order back up as Faustino fouls that one back to keep it 1-2. One, two. And a called strike 3. Second strikeout for Pica. First one looking. And that'll bring Ethan Diaz in the top of the order back up. He's 1 for 1 with a double and a run scored. So 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the second. More efficient start to this inning for Pica as that one's outside for ball 1. 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Diaz didn't even get to tell you because he jumped on the pitch last time as he fouls that one back for strike 1. Comes in hitting .451 with a home run and 15 RBIs on the season. Also has scored 17 runs and has 3 doubles to boot. Been the most consistent hitter. So that one's outside, 3-1 now. Hitters count to Ethan Diaz, the 3-1. And just outside for ball 4. First free base, Pike is given up.
At the plate, the right fielder, Landon Young.
And that'll bring Landon Young to the plate. He grounded out to third on a really nice charging play by Jace Janix. And it looks like we have a timeout called by the third base coach. And he's going to have a conversation here with Landon Young. Probably just talking strategy. 2 outs and good speed off of first base. Obviously not a bunt situation here, so not really sure. Maybe he saw a tell of Piker or something like that. Lots of reasons to have a chat like that during a baseball game. As the first pitch will square around. Oh, he tried to bunt down to second base. Goes Diaz. The throw is wide. So maybe a little fake. Some mind games maybe being played there by the Western Wildcats. It's going to be a stolen base for Diaz. So 2 outs and now a runner in scoring position, and that ball is grounded to shortstop. Takes a wicked hop. Throw to first base is in time. Nice play by the shortstop Diaz, and that will do it for the inning. So no hits, but 1 runner left on base. We go to the top of the third. We're still tied at 1. Top of the third inning from Sanford Memorial Stadium. We'll have the top of the lineup due up for the Dr. Phillips Panthers, deadlocked at 1 apiece. More efficient second inning last time on the mound for Jack Cahall. Just allowed 1 base runner, but left him out there. Also got his first strikeout of the ball game. So it'll be Diego Diaz, who reached on an error and came around to score the lone run so far. So he's 0 for 1. He'll lead off the third. It'll be Diaz, Pedrino, and Jennings. Second time through versus Cahall. First pitch in there for a called strike, going 1. Diaz, 260 hitter. A 1. Dribbled right out in front of home plate, fielded by Cahall. Throw to first base is in time. And there's 1 out. Nice play by Jack Cahall there. Didn't rush it, knowing that he had to hurry with the speed of Diaz there. Took his time and got the out. So 1 out. And here is Chris Pedrino, who had a single and was left on third base. So he is 1 for 1. And he swings through the first pitch. Cahall delivering the 0-1. Outside, count even at 1 apiece. Cahall seems a little bit more settled in here in the third than he did in the first inning. Although the one run that has crossed the plate is not allowed, it was not earned by him, as that one's popped up right field. Over is Young near the foul line and makes the catch. 2 gone now here in the third. So Pedrinen is retired, and that'll bring Jace Jennings to the plate. He grounded out to shortstop in his first at bat, so he is 0 for 1. Brady Cohn in the on-deck circle. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out, but did push home the first run of the ball game. So he does have an RBI. As that one gets by the catcher and was a little up and in towards Jennings there, but it's 1 ball and no strikes. Cahill looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. And that's in there for a called strike. Count even at 1 apiece. The 1-1. Low in the dirt, 2-1 now. The 2-1 pitch. Low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. A hitter's count now to Jennings. Don't want to issue 2 out free passes. See how he responds. The 3-1. Hard ground ball, shortstop, fielded cleanly, bobbles it, throw to first base, is not in time, and it gets by the first baseman. Jennings will stay put. As Torres could not field it clean. Well, it looked like he fielded it cleanly, and then it looked like he kind of had trouble getting it out of his glove. But it was going to be a close play at first anyway. It'll be interesting to see how they score that. So here's Brody Cohn. 0 for 1 with that RBI ground out, and he'll look to keep things going with 2 outs and a runner on here in the third against Cahill. First pitch is on the outside corner for strike 1. A 1 pitch. High fly ball in the air to center field. Waiting under it and making the catch is the center fielder, Ethan Diaz. That will do it for the inning. 1 hit, 1 runner left on. We go to the bottom of the third. We are still deadlocked at 1 between the Western Wildcats and the Dr. Phillips Panthers. Back here at the classic Sanford Memorial Stadium.
Leading off for Western, the catcher, Jorge Falligan.
And that's going to bring up Jorge Falligan. Will be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Falligan 1 for 1 with an RBI single. Drove home the lone run of the game. And first pitch swinging, ground ball to shortstop, fielded cleanly. Throw to first base is in time. Nice stretch by the first baseman. Diego Diaz makes the play. And Falligan is retired. And that'll bring Gavin Andreu to the plate. 1 for 1 with a single as well. This was the part of the lineup that roughed up Pica back in the first inning. It was Falligan, Andreu, and Morales all recording singles before the Wildcats left the bases loaded. And that one is low for ball 1. One out. Fly ball in the air to shallow left field. Coming on and making the catch right in front of the center fielder is Edwin Jameis. And there are 2 gone. So a little more success for Pica here against this part of the lineup the second time through, at least right now. Here's Christian Morales, who, like I said, singled through the left side. In his first at bat, he is 1 for 1. And that is at the knees for a called strike, 0-1. A 1 pitch. In there again, 0-2 now. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Oh, and he did get a piece of it. So he stays alive, but barely. It was nearly Pica's second strikeout. But we'll do the 0-2 one more time. As Anthony Bayer, the DH, awaits the 0-2. Lined foul, we'll do it one more time. Oh, 2. Swing and a miss. This time he gets him. A little delayed, but the same result. A 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Pica. We go to the 4th. We are still tied at 1 apiece. Well, we'll start the 4th inning to a little Chuck Berry on the radio here at the stadium, little Johnny B. Good. And we'll lead it off. It will be Ryan Pica, the starting pitcher. 0 for 1, lined out to Alvarez at third base, and it was a really hard hit ball that ended the first inning. I'll lead it off against K. Hall as the first pitch is just outside for ball 1. It'll be Pica, Jameis, and DeMaio. Pica comes in hitting .250 as the 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. No home runs, no RBIs. Oh, I'm sorry, looking at the wrong thing. He has no home runs, but 6 RBIs. 3 doubles as well. So some good gap power in the bat of the Panthers starting pitcher. 2-0. Hard ground ball, and that's going to sneak into center field under the glove of the diving shortstop is Torres, and it's a leadoff single for Pica. And a leadoff base runner for the first time since the first now for the Panthers. And that's going to bring up Edwin Jamis, who with a fly ball to deep right field, and Landon Young, the right fielder, had to track it down on his horse to record the first out of the second inning. So now he'll bat with a runner on. Wildcats infield will be set up to turn 2. And now we have a bit of a discussion between the home plate umpire and Logan Bloom, the Panthers head coach. Not sure what they're discussing exactly. And Bloom keeps looking back to the dugout, and now we have a Panther running onto the field. And it looks like it will be Pica coming back out. So it looks like they had a courtesy runner for Pica, and I do believe it sounds like they maybe told them that you couldn't do that, or for some reason Pica came back out. So he will run the bases here while Jamis bats. So a little bit of confusion here, but we're back to action as the first pitch is in there for a called strike. Ramses DeMaio in the on-deck circle. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Oh, 1, there goes Pica for second. The throw down is not in time, and it actually kicks off the Pica into shallow center, but he will stay put at second. So it's a stolen base, and it takes away the double play possibility for the Wildcats and also makes it an RBI opportunity for Jamis and the Panthers. So I don't know why they were trying to pinch run for Pica. They seem to send him pretty easily. And now with nobody out, a runner in scoring position. 1-1. Hard ground ball right back to Cahall. He fields. He decides against throwing to third. They'll just get the out at first. So Pica moves up to third on the ground out. Works the same as a sacrifice. Jamis now 0 for 2. But 1 out now, and here is Ramses DeMaio. Like I said, struck out looking. He's the only strikeout victim so far for Cahall. And a fly ball could give the Panthers the lead. Infield is in. And Cahall steps off. First pitch. Swing and a miss on 1. Like I said, infield playing in case Pica decides to try for the plate, as that one is swung through and missed again. So 0-2 now on Ramses DeMaio with Maddox Stinson in the on-deck circle. He singled in his first at-bat. Ryan Pica, the starting pitcher, started the inning with a single up the middle, then stole second base and reached third on a ground out by Jamis. And that one is outside. Good job by the catcher, Falligan, to keep that one in front of him. And and prevent Pica from breaking for the plate. So it's now 1-2. First ball of the at-bat. The 1-2 pitch. Inside. Did not break over the plate, so count is now even at 2 apiece. Nice job by DeMaio here to kind of work himself back into the at-bat. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Cahall, and second time he's gotten DeMaio. And there are 2 gone, and Pica remains at third, and that's going to bring up Stinson. Like I said, 1-for-1 with the base hit, but was stranded there back in the second inning. Second consecutive at-bat in this game where he will hit with 2 outs, except this time it's an RBI opportunity. First pitch, outside, 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Dribbled off of the foot of Stinson. Falligan went after it, but it's a foul ball, so count is even at 1 apiece. Two outs, runner on third. Tie game, 1 apiece between the Westwood Wildcats and the Dr. Phillips Panthers. The pitch is outside, 2-1. Will Barbera on the call. Here on the FloridaLeagueTournaments.com in the Classic. Two one. On the inside corner, a little bit of a delayed call there by the umpire, but Cahall able to work the count back even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dylan Lynch, the center fielder in the on-deck circle, he lined out to first base in his first at-bat. If Stinson is able to get on. Outside, and the count is now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Maddox Stinson. Three-two. Hard ground ball down the third baseline. That's a fair ball into foul territory down the left field line. A runner will score. Stinson on his way to second. They can't get the ball out there. Stinson takes a big turn around second and decides to stay there. RBI double by Maddox Stinson puts the Panthers back in front. It's 2-1 as Pica comes home to score. And a really good piece of hitting there. Just ripped it right underneath the glove of Alvarez down the left field line. And then there was a little bit of trouble in left field with Faustino Diaz having trouble. It looked like the ball had gone near or underneath the bullpen bench that's out there. Almost allowed Stinson to go all the way to third, but he stayed put at second. So it's 2-1 now, and another RBI opportunity for Dylan Lynch. First pitch. Outside. Falligan thought about throwing behind Stinson there, but nothing doing. It's 1-0. Lynch, like I said, lined out to the first baseman in his first at-bat. Fouled off down the right field line. Count even at 1-1. Class of 2028 is Lynch. So I believe that would make him a sophomore currently. There goes the runner for third. Falligan doesn't even throw down. Stolen base by Stinson. So now a runner just 90 feet from home plate for Lynch. A base hit makes it a 2-run lead. K-Hall taking a break, getting some rosin. One, two. Outside, count even at 2 apiece as Stinson nearly broke for the plate there. He's keeping everybody wearing a Wildcat uniform on their toes. The 2-2 from K-Hall. Inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Lynch. Diego Diaz on the top of the order, waiting in the wings on the on-deck circle. Three, 2. Outside, ball 4. So K-Hall issues a 2-out walk. So now runners at the corners and back to the top of the order now for Diego Diaz, who was 0 for 2, reached on an error and came around to score on the RBI ground out by Cone back in the first, and then grounded out to the pitcher K-Hall in his last at-bat, last inning in the third. So Diaz with an RBI opportunity here. Pitch is just above the letters for ball 1, 1-0. Pitch is on the outside corner for strike 1. So it's a ball on the strike now to Diaz. The leading hitter for the Panthers. Not sure you'd want anybody else up there if you're Logan Bloom. As K-Hall steps off. Outside, 2-1 now. Chris Pedrinen, the first baseman in the on-deck circle, he's 1 for 2. Single and a fly out to right. 2-1. In there for a called strike to even it at 2 apiece. And stepping out of the batter's box is Diaz now. And now he's ready. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tip hung on to by Falligan. That'll do it for the inning as K-Hall does work out of a jam, but they do give up a run on the RBI double by Maddox Stinson. Dr. Phillips goes up 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Back to action here at the Classic from Sanford Memorial Stadium. And it is a 2-1 lead for the Dr. Phillips Panthers. They took that lead on an RBI double in the top of the fourth inning by Maddox Stinson. As Ryan Pica goes back to work, in the first pitch to Anthony Beira is swung on and missed, 0-1. It'll be Beira, the designated hitter, the shortstop, Luis is Torres, and then the third baseman, Julian Alvarez, as that one is low for ball one. So the 6, 7, and 8 hitters here in the fourth against Pica, who had, as that one's in there for a called strike, so 1 and 2. But Pica had a rough first inning, allowed 5 hits, just 1 run, got out of a bases-loaded jam. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and a leadoff strikeout here. Second time Beira's gone down looking. Or excuse me, swinging rather. So that's the 4th strikeout for Pica. And here is Luis Torres, who grounded out to second base in his first at bat. He's 0 for 1. But Pica has settled in nicely since the first inning, and as I say that, that's a line drive to center, and it was hard hit, but right at the center fielder, Lynch, who makes the catch. So 1 pitch out there, and a strikeout and a line out, and here comes Julian Alvarez, who tapped out to Pica in his first at bat. He's 0 for 1. First pitch is on the outside corner to Alvarez, 0-1. A 1 pitch is just off the plate outside to even it at 1 apiece. And that one drills him right in the back. So a 2-out base runner now for the Wildcats. Do believe we have ice here at the stadium, so he'll trade a bruise for a base runner. And here is Faustino Diaz, who struck out looking in his first at bat. It was the second of Pica's 4 strikeout victims. Just the second free base runner allowed there on the hit by pitch. 1 walk and now 1 hit by pitch as that one is in there. 0-1 to Diaz. Top of the order on deck, Ethan Diaz in the on-deck circle. 0-1. Ground ball to third. Bounced and bobbled by Jennings. He fields, throws to first base, is not in time. And that ball was hit really hard. I think that might be a base hit as Jennings is kind of walking around. Obviously, you want to make sure he's okay. But now runners on first and second with 2 outs. And here's Ethan Diaz, 1 for 1. He doubled and came around to score in his first at-bat. He walked and stole second in his second at-bat before being stranded there. So with 2 outs, the Wildcats are threatening. And swing and a miss, 0-1. With their leading hitter in the box, this is where if you're Pica, you really got to settle in and try and get this guy. You just got to get 1 out to get out of this inning here, with your lead still intact. 0-1. In the dirt, kept in front of by Cone. So 1-1 is now the count. Outside, just a tad outside it looked like, for ball 2. Two one. Ground ball back towards the shortstop, fielded cleanly. Throw to first is in time, and a big out to end the inning. Nice play by Diego Diaz to retire Ethan Diaz. 2 runners are left on, 1 hit allowed. We go to the 5th inning. 2-1. Dr. Phillips leads it. Top of the fifth inning here, and it is 2-1. Dr. Phillips leads Western. Jack Cahall back to work now. And leading things off, it'll be Chris Pedrinen. And he takes a called strike on one. Pedrinen 1 for 2, singled in his first at bat, flew out to right in his last. And that is a dribbler right out in front of the plate, and it'll roll foul. So it'll be 0-2 on the Panther first baseman. It'll be Pedrinen, Jace Jennings, and Brody Cone. 2, 3, and 4 hitters, heart of this Panther lineup for Cahall, who has not had an inning where he hasn't allowed a base runner yet. 0-2. And that one nearly hits him, and getting out of the way of that one was Pedrinen. So ball one there. One, two on the way. In the dirt, count even at 2. Neither of these pitchers have really gotten hit all that hard. Just a little more volume than other innings at times as the 2-2 comes in. Just missed. Count now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the leadoff hitter, Chris Pedrinen, here in the 5th inning. Payoff pitch. Ground ball right back up the middle, a base hit. Second of the day for Pedrinen, and a leadoff base runner now here in the 5th inning for the Panthers. Back-to-back innings now that the Panthers have led it off with a base hit. Ryan Pica led off the 4th with a single, and he came around to score the go-ahead run. So here is Jace Jennings. 1 for 2, reached on a single in his last at bat, but grounded out to shortstop in his first. Infield is set up to turn 2 for the Wildcats. First pitch is low for ball 1. One 0 pitch is outside, 2-0. So this is a situation where if I'm, I believe it's Odell Garcia, or Oral Garcia, the head coach for the Wildcats, you might be thinking about getting somebody up in the bullpen if Jennings is able to get on, as that one's inside. So now 3-0. So Cahall giving up a leadoff single and then falls 3-0 on Jennings here to start the 5th. 3-0. Outside in a 4-pitch walk. So not an ideal start to the inning here, as the walk moves Pedrinen up to second. So runners on first and second, and here is Brody Cone, 0 for 2, RBI ground out in his first at bat, and then lined out to center. Flew out to center. There was a lot more arc to it than I'm remembering. And it looks like here comes Oral Garcia, and that may be it for Jack Cahall. And yep, he is going to take the ball from Jack Cahall there. So that'll do it for his day. And it looks like we may get number 3. Actually, no, I'm not quite sure who's going to come into the game here. And it looks like it is going to be number 23. Luis Izturis will come into the game. So Luis Izturis, who started the game at shortstop, for Western will now come in relief of Jack Cahall on the year. He has a 1.31 earned run average. He's 2-0 in 3 appearances. Also has a save on the year, so he's been a bit of a Swiss Army knife.
For Western, number 23, Luis Isturiz.
And in 10 2/3 innings, he has 8 strikeouts and 6 walks. And coming into the game, looks like Noah Graben will come into the game to replace his Torres. And I believe Christian Morales will move to shortstop. So it looks like we're ready to go here with his Torres. So he will face Brody Cohn with runners on first and second.
At the plate, Brody Cohn.
Like I said, Cohn is 0 for 2, RBI ground out in his first at-bat, flew out to center in his second, and with nobody out, the Panthers have runners on first and second. So Torres will look to, square around the bunt and a pullback immediately there as the first pitch was outside. Not a horrible idea here. Cohn with not great speed in the batter's box. Chance to get 2 runners in scoring position with still less than 2 outs here against his Torres. 1-0. Outside throw back to second base is not in time. Interesting decision there as Pedrinen gets back. Wasn't really close. Chris Pedrinen off of second. Jace Jennings off of first. Brody Cohn is the hitter. That's outside. 3-0 the count now. And it is Ryan Pica in the on-deck circle, the starting pitcher, so it doesn't look like he's going anywhere for the Panthers. 3-0, and there goes the runner for third, and there will be no throw to either base as it is a 4-pitch walk for his Torres. So back-to-back walks now, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. And here is Ryan Pica, 1 for 2, lined out to third in his first at-bat, singled to center and came around to score on the RBI double by Stinson in his last at-bat. So he has a chance to help his own cause here. Nobody out, bases loaded. Corners are in, infield is still set up to turn 2. Middle infield is still set up to turn 2, excuse me. Torres waiting to throw. Ooh, thought about throwing back to second base, and Torres nearly balked in the process, but nothing doing. Everybody's safe, and all runners stay where they are. Pica led off last inning with a single, stole second, and came around to score on the double by Stinson, and that one's in for a called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Oh, good thing he held on to that one. Would have been a throwing error, would have went straight into center field and would have allowed a run to score and probably both other runners to advance, as there was no one covering the second base bag. Jennings does have a pretty big lead off of that second base bag. 0-1. Up high, count even at 1 apiece. Luis Torres, the senior, in to try and limit the damage. 1-1. Called strike, a ball and 2 strikes now. And here comes Oral Garcia again. Be interesting to see if he's going to pull his Torres here or if this is just another mound meeting. So second mound meeting of the inning here, and I can't tell. Doesn't look like he's taking the ball from his Torres, so it looks like this is probably just a strategy mound visit here. And yeah, that's all it is, as Garcia goes back to the dugout and the rest of the infield goes back to man their posts. Inning started with a leadoff single by Chris Pedrinen, and then a walk to Jace Jennings and a walk to Brody Cohn have loaded the bases with nobody out for the starting pitcher, Ryan Pica. Jack Cahall started this inning. He allowed the leadoff single and walk before being pulled for his Torres, who then walked the bases full by issuing the free pass to Cohn. But he's got Ryan Pica 1 and 2 here. This would be a big first out. And they thought about throwing back, and they do throw back, and it goes into center field. Here comes Pedrinen for the plate. He will score easily, and Dr. Phillips extends their lead 3-1. A throwing error by his Torres allows Pedrinen to score. Both Jennings and Cohn stay put on first and second, and it's 3-1. I'll tell you, folks, I've never been a big fan of throwing back behind runners in scoring position with the bases loaded, as Pica hits that one to deep left field. Going back to the track, and it is over his head. 1-1 will score. On the way to third, and stopping there is Cohn. It's an RBI double for Ryan Pica, his second hit of the day, and it's 4-1, Dr. Phillips.
Left fielder Edwin Hymas.
So that's going to bring up Edwin Hymas, who is 0 for 2, flied out to right, grounded out to the pitcher. And still nobody out in the inning here, folks. They've already added 2. The throwing error by Torres allowed Pedrinen to score, and now the RBI double by Pica brings home Jennings. And first pitch strike to Hymas. It's 0-1. But an RBI opportunity here for Hymas with 2 runners in scoring position. That ball is laced foul down the right field line, headed to the opposing bullpen. So it'll be 0-2. Ramses DeMaio in the on-deck circle for the Panthers. We're looking to try and break it open here this inning. They've chased Cahall from the game, and now doing some damage against Luis Torres is the 0-2. High fly ball in the air to center field. That might be over the head of everybody, and it is. It's going to go to the wall. Both runs will come in to score. Hymas will stop at second. It's a 2-run double, and it's 6-1. Back-to-back doubles by Pica and Hymas. And that one brings home Cohn and Pica.
Now batting the right fielder, Ramses DeMaio.
So that'll bring Ramses DeMaio to the plate, but his Torres has come in, and he is. This has been a nightmare start for him in relief, as we have time being called there so Hymas could get his equipment off before retaking his post at second base. So still nobody out here in this inning. And DeMaio, that's a high fly ball in the air to right field. Young is back. He'll make the catch. Hymas will try and draw a throw, but nothing doing. So 1 out here. Finally, the Wildcats record their first out of the inning. And that's going to bring up Maddox Stinson, who has had a heck of a game so far. He's 2 for 2 with a single, an RBI double, and a stolen base. No bat with one out, and Hymas on second. This inning started with a single by Chris Pedrinen, then back-to-back walks to Jace Jennings and Brody Cohn, and then back-to-back RBI doubles by Ryan Pica and Edwin Hamus with a throwing error in between. First pitch, laced foul down the right field line. It's 0-1. Is Torres checking the scouting report? 0-1. In the dirt, 1-1. Panthers came into this inning with a 2-1 lead. They put up 4 runs here as there's a step off by Torres. Scored the first run on a throwing error by Torres into center field, and then a 2-1 RBI double by Ryan Pica and a 2-1 double by Edwin Hymas, excuse me. And now it is 0-2 to Maddox Stinson with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. Still opportunities out there for the Panthers to add to this lead here in the 5th. 0-2. Dribbled up the third baseline, it'll roll foul, so we'll do 0-2 one more time. Stinson is ready. 0-2 from his Torres, 1 out. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So back-to-back outs here for his Torres, his first strikeout. And that'll bring up Dylan Lynch, who's 0 for 1, lined out to first base in his first at-bat and then reached on a walk before being stranded. So he'll bat now with 2 outs. In what has been a nightmare inning for the Western Wildcats. Came in down by just a run. They'll leave down by 5 at the least. That ball's fouled back on 1. A 1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now to Lynch, as that was a foul tip that was held onto by Falligan. So Torres now just a strike away from ending this nightmare inning and getting the Wildcats bats back up. The 0-2 fouled off. We'll do it one more time. So that one ends up on top of the Wildcat dugout. When the Wildcats come back up, it'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in their half of the 5th. Landon Young, Jorge Falligan, and Gavin Andrew. And a called strike 3, a beautiful breaking pitch freezes Lynch to end the inning, but the damage was done. A 4 spot in the inning, highlighted by an RBI double by starting pitcher Ryan Pica and a 2-run double by Edwin Hymas. It's 6-1 Dr. Phillips as we go to, we are going to the 6th inning. Sorry about that, folks. Well, first pitch of the sixth inning is outside from Pica. Top of the sixth, and the damage was done there in the bottom of the fifth by Dr. Phillips. As that first 1-0 lined into left field, so a leadoff single now.
Landon Young at first base at the plate now, Jorge Fallagin.
Or excuse me, it's the bottom of the fifth. So here's Jorge Fallagin. Sorry, folks, a whole lot of confusion there from myself. I confused myself looking at my scorecards. So it's the bottom of the fifth inning for anybody that was confused by my send-off in between innings there. But here's Jorge Fallagin, 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Grounded out to shortstop in his last at-bat. First pitch is outside. One 0 inside as Fallagin leaned out of the way of that one. It's 2-0. Pike has really settled in over the last 3 innings or so, as that one's low again. But a leadoff base runner on the single, and now falling behind 3-0 to Fallagin, the Wildcat 3-hitter. Don't want to give the Wildcats an opportunity to come back into this game. And a 4-pitch walk there. So not a great start to the inning here. Runners on first and second. And here is Gavin Andreu, who is 1 for 2, singled in his first at bat and flew out to left. And now Donatello Baydon will be the courtesy runner for Fallagin. So good speed now on the base paths, as Oral Garcia is trying to get his team back into this one here. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. First pitch from Pica is outside, so that's 5 consecutive balls thrown by Pica between the last 2 hitters. It's 1-0. One-0 pitch. Ground ball, that's going to get through the left side, a base hit. And look out now, folks. The bases are loaded for the Wildcats with nobody out, and it happened real quick. And that's going to bring up Christian Morales to the plate. And Morales is 1 for 2. He singled in his first at bat, struck out swinging in his last. And he has a chance to get the Wildcats right back in this. A base hit could potentially score 2. And Logan Bloom, the Panther head coach, looks like he's going to go out. There's nobody warming in the Panther bullpen, so my guess is that this is just a strategy meeting here. Unless they're going to take him out of the game. So there goes Ryan Pica. He will leave with the bases loaded and nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. All 3 of those base runners are his, and in comes number 7, Daniel Urdaneta, who will come in relief of Pica. Urdaneta comes in just 2 games played this year. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Here we go. Oh, okay. He's not pitching. So the right fielder for the Panthers coming in now. That is Ramses DeMaio, who has a 1.05 earned run average, 1-0 on the year. 5 total appearances. 6 2/3 innings. He's allowed 8 hits, 3 walks to 8 strikeouts. Total of just 1 earned run, however.
Fans, your attention, please. Now pitching for Dr. Phillips, number 24, Ramses DeMaio.
So it looks like number 15, Zach Scala, will take over in right field for DeMaio, who takes over on the mound for Pica.
Number 15, Zach Scala, in to play the right field.
So as we get ready for DeMaio to come in relief here, this inning started with a single by Landon Young, then a 4-pitch walk to Jorge Fallagin, and then a single by Gavin Andreu, and that is how the bases got loaded. So everybody going back to man their posts now. Is with nobody out, it'll be Christian Morales, Anthony Beira, and Luis Torres. Actually, it may not be Luis Torres. We will see. I believe it may actually be Noah Graben, who came in to replace Torres in the field.
How about Christian Morales?
So here is Morales, 1 for 2, singled in his first at bat, struck out swinging against Pica in his last. And he has a chance to get the Wildcats right back into this game here in the 5th inning. First pitch from DeMaio. Swing and a miss on 1. Bases loaded. Ducks on a pond here. Wildcats down by 5. That one just misses for ball 1. DeMaio didn't appear to be, I don't know if that was a miscommunication between him and Cone, the catcher, or if he was upset with the call by the home plate umpire. Either way, back to action now. 1-1. Popped up. It will make its way out to left field. Hymas is there. He'll make the catch. Tagging for the plate is Young, and he will score. So a sacrifice fly by Morales. And it is now 6-2 as Young comes in to score.
Now batting designated hitter Anthony Beira.
So 1 out, and that'll bring Anthony Beira to the plate with runners on first and second. Beira's 0 for 2. He struck out twice against Pica in his first 2 at-bats. First pitch. Outside, it gets away from Cone. Both runners will advance. So a pass ball now by Cone allows both runners to advance, and with 1 out, a single can make this a 2-run game, potentially. High fly ball in the air to center field. Waiting on it, finding it in the sunlight, and making the catch. The throw will go to the cutoff man. It'll be back-to-back sacrifice flies, as it was Dylan Lynch who made the catch out there. RBI for Beira, and it's 6-3. The Wildcats have cut the lead in half.
Pitcher Luis Torres.
So here's Luis Torres, who started the game at shortstop, came in to pitch. And now he has a chance with 2 outs and a runner on second to make this a 2-run game. And that drills him right in the helmet. Oh, my goodness. And he appears to be okay, but he will take his base at first. Always scary when that happens. So a hit by pitch. And now runners on first and second. And here is Julian Alvarez, who is 0 for 1, grounded out to the mound in his first at-bat, and then was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. So with 2 outs, the Wildcats have runners on first and second. The tying run is at the plate. But on a day with the wind blowing in here at Sanford Memorial Stadium, he'd have to hit it very well in order to get it out of this ballpark. First pitch, outside, 1-0. Faustino Diaz. Oh, actually, it looks like we have number 12 waiting in the on-deck circle. That is James Gill. As that one's low, 2-0 now to Alvarez. And kept in front by Cone, but it's ball 3. So DeMeo falls behind 3-0 on Alvarez, and he's in danger of walking the bases loaded. And like we said, it will be James Gill, the pinch hitter, who was in the on-deck circle for Faustino Diaz as the 3-0 called strike. Now 3-1. Hitters count now to Alvarez, the 3-1. And ball 4 outside. DeMeo is not happy with the call. And he walks back to the mound in disappointment. So the bases are loaded once again. Second time this inning, the Wildcats have had the bases loaded. Back-to-back free bases after the hit by pitch to Estorres and now the walk. And here is James Gill, who will replace Faustino Diaz, who finishes the game 1 for 2. He struck out looking in his first at-bat, did reach on a single in his last. So Gill with a chance now. Base hit could make it a 1-run game if 2 are able to cross the plate. The pitch. Ground ball, will it sneak in the middle? It will. 1-1 will score. Around third, heading for the plate. The throw is not going to be there. It's a 2-1 single. And all of a sudden, the Wildcats are within a run. And both runners advance on the errant throw now. RBI pinch hit single by James Gill brings home 2. And it's 6-5. How about that?
Now batting center fielder Ethan Diaz.
So here is Ethan Diaz now, who is 1 for 2, doubled in his first at-bat, came around the score, walked and stole second in his second at-bat, and then grounded out to shortstop. And he has a chance to give the Wildcats the lead here, as that one is low for ball 1. Good job by Cone to keep it in front. But how things have changed here in the 5th inning. In the top of the 5th, the Panthers put on a 4 spot to take a 5-run lead, and the Wildcats came right back with a 4 spot of their own, and they have a chance to tie it as that one is on the outside corner for strike 1. That's why we love baseball, the unpredictability. You never know what's going to happen. The 1-1 outside, 2-1 now to Diaz. And Landon Young, who was in the on-deck circle, started this inning for the Wildcats. So 2-1. Outside, 3-1. So we are 1 batter away from batting around here this inning if you're the Wildcats. But you got to get through Diaz if you're the Panthers. 3 balls and a strike, 2 outs. The pitch. Swing and foul back to the screen. And works at full. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Ramses DeMeo came in to replace Ryan Pica. Trying to get out of this inning, maintaining a 6-5 lead. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch. And a called strike 3. He rung him up. And DeMeo does get out of it, but not before. The Wildcats work their way back into the game. A 4 spot of their own makes it 6-5. We go to the 6th. Wildcats down by a run. Well, back here for the 6th inning, and if you missed the 5th inning, you missed yourself a doozy. 8 combined runs between these two teams in the 5th inning, a 4-spot by the Dr. Phillips Panthers in their half of the 5th that made it 6-1, and then a 4-spot in the bottom half of the 5th by the Wildcats that made it 6-5. So we're back to just a 1-run game. My name is Will Barbera. We once again thank you for joining us here at the Classic High School Invitational Tournament on the Florida. Oh, as that ball's hit deep to right field. Going back is Young, racing. He has a beat on it, and he'll make the catch. And there's one out here.
Plate number 23, Chris Pedrinan.
So that was Diego Diaz who flew out to start the inning. And here's Chris Pedrinan, who started last inning with a single and came around to score on the throwing error by Izturis. First pitch is up high, 1-0. Lofted in the air to right center. That's going to fall into no man's land for a base hit. So a 1-out single by Pedrinan, his 3rd hit of the day. All 3 of them are singles. And with 1 out, the Panthers have a base runner, and that'll bring Jace Jennings to the plate. 1 for 2, grounded out the shortstop, singled, reached on a walk, and came around to score in his last at bat. First pitch is in there for a called strike, going 1 to Jennings. Brody Cohn in the on-deck circle. Throw back to first, and a good job by Andreu to keep that one in front of him and not allow it to get by him, because it surely would have meant that Pedrinan would take second. Surprised Izturis is still as confident as he is throwing back behind runners after what happened last inning, as that ball is dribbled towards third. Alvarez fields to second for 1. Back to first, not in time. And it'll be a fielder's choice to Jennings. They get the runner at second. So 2 outs now and a runner on first, and here's Brody Cohn. 0 for 2 at an RBI ground out to get the scoring started back in the first. Flew out to center and then walked and came around to score in his last at bat. He scored on the 2-run double by Edwin Hamas. So 2 outs and a runner on, and the pitch from Izturis is outside, 1-0. Just a reminder to everybody out there, we play 7 innings here in these tournament games. So just another inning of work once we get through the 6th here. The 1-0 is inside to Cohn, 2-0. After this, about 30 minutes or 40 minutes or so after this game ends, we will have Flagler Palm Coast, versus St. Cloud. As Cohn swings through that one, 2-1 now. And it will be your boy right here, Will Barbera, on the call when we get there as well, and then as well for the Apopka versus Lyman game later on tonight. And Izturis will throw back again. Nothing doing. Throw back one more time. Still nothing doing. If he is a 3-step lead off of first base, I'd be shocked. I don't know what we're worried about, but. Oh, he took another step. Just playing some mind games over there is Jace Jennings. 3 consecutive throwovers from Izturis. And now he'll come to the plate, and that one's outside. So 3 balls and a strike on Cohn. (3-1). Drilled foul down the right field line. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Brody Cone with 2 outs and a runner on first here in the top of the 6th inning. Dr. Phillips Panthers lead the Western Wildcats 6-5. Payoff pitch, there goes the runner, and it is outside, ball 4, so it doesn't matter about the runner in motion. It's a walk, second consecutive at bat where Cone has drawn a walk. So runners on first and second with 2 outs now, and here is Ryan Pica, the designated hitter who started the day on the mound.
First base, Gavin Torres.
And Gavin Torres will pinch run as a courtesy runner for Cone at first. So Jennings on second, Torres on first, and it's Pica in the batter's box. He's 2 for 3, singled and came around to score, and then an RBI double in his last at bat. First pitch. Drops in there for a called strike, 0-1. A 1. That one gets by Falligan, and both runners will advance. So that's a wild pitch. Up to second goes Torres. Over to third goes Jennings. One and one to Pica. Checked his swing, did not go around. Yeah, they do appeal to the second base umpire. He says no go. So 2 balls and a strike now as Pica works ahead of his Torres. Two one. In the dirt, blocked by Falligan. It's now 3 balls and a strike on Pica. Edwin Hymas, who had that 2-run double in his last at-bat, waiting in the wings on the on-deck circle. Here's Torres. Comes set. 3-1. Outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks, and the bases are now loaded. And that will bring Edwin Hymas. He is 1 for 3, flied out to right, grounded out to the mound, and then a 2-run double in his last at-bat. And now we have, looks like we're going to have a mound meeting here. That's not Oral Garcia. And it's going to be Enier Morales, the pitching coach, to go out and talk to Luis's Torres. And with 2 outs and the bases loaded, you got to try and pitch this carefully here. I mean, you were down by 5, and then your offense got you back within 1. You want to keep it that way as you go to the last frame of this ball game. So we will see what happens, folks, as everyone will go back to their positions and back to their posts. Edwin Hymas is the hitter. Hymas has 7 RBIs this season. He added 2 more to his total earlier on. That one's outside for ball 1. One out. Bounce to the plate. Kept in front by Falligan. It's 2-0. First batter of this inning flew out to right, then Pedrinen reached on a single. A fielder's choice by Jennings. That one's fouled back for strike 1, 2-1 now the count. Fielder's choice by Jennings, and then back-to-back walks to Brody Cohn and Ryan Pica have loaded the bases here with 2 outs. Two one. Dropped right in there. Throw back behind the runner at third, not in time. And it was a good throw there by Falligan. Just not able to beat Jennings back to third. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Bases are loaded. 6-5. Dr. Phillips leads Western. Western trying to get back to the plate, and the pitch is swung on and missed. And he will just touch home plate, and that will do it. But a big strikeout by Torres ends the inning. Bases are left loaded by Dr. Phillips. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 6-5, Dr. Phillips. Well, we are back here, folks, for the bottom of the 6th inning. Western down by a run. Ramses DeMeo back out there for his 2nd inning of work for the Panthers. And it will be Landon Young, who led off last inning, got that 4 spot in the 5th inning going to make it a 1-run game again. First pitch from DeMeo, inside for ball 1. 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Young, Falligan, and Andreu. Up high, 2-0 now. Young, Falligan, Andreu, heart of this Wildcat order. That's who you want up there, as that's on the inside corner for strike 1. Two one. And a called strike to even the count at 2 apiece. 6 outs remaining here in this one for the Wildcats to score 1 run to tie it, or 2 to potentially win it. 2-2. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Cohn will tag out Young, and there's 1 out. First strikeout for DeMeo. That's going to bring up Falligan, who reached on a walk in his first at bat. So he is 1 for 2. RBI single in his first at bat, grounded out to short, walked and scored in his last at bat. Well, he didn't score. Torres did, the courtesy runner, but you get what I mean. That one's inside. Falligan did not look happy with the first pitch he received. 1-0. Inside, 2-0. Oh, that one nearly hits him. Did it get him? And it did. So over to first base, Falligan will go. That is the second hit by pitch in 2 innings of work. Oh, and now it looks like we're going to call Falligan back to the batter's box. So I guess not a hit by pitch, which would make it 3-0. Little confusion there between Falligan and the home plate umpire. And it looks like the umpire is... Okay, it looked like he had granted timeout. So 3-0 is now the count. 3-0. And that is ball 4. So second consecutive at-bat that Falligan has drawn a walk. Third time he's reached base today. And with 1 out, there's a runner on. And here is Andreu. And it looks like we will have a pinch runner for Falligan. It'll be number 8. Donatello Bay Down, who pinch ran for him last time as well. Andreu, 2 for 3. He singled twice, and that ball is laced into left field. Here comes Hymas. He'll make the catch as it hung up there for him. And there are 2 gone here. And ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the worst feelings as a hitter is when you hit the ball right on the screws the way Andreu did right there, but right at somebody. So 2 outs and a runner on. And here is Christian Morales, who is 1 for 2, singled in his first at-bat, struck out swinging in his second, and then had an RBI sacrifice fly in his last at-bat that brought home Landon Young. So he'll bat with 2 outs and a runner on first. He squares around to bunt and peels back. It's outside for ball 1. Anthony Beira, the designated hitter in the on-deck circle for Western. Ooh, runner gets caught off for first, and they picked him off. And a costly mistake there by Baydon, who came in to pinch run for Falligan. He gets picked off, sleeping off the bag at first. A great job by DeMeo. No hits, but 1 runner left on. We go to the 7th inning. It's still 6-5, Dr. Phillips. Start of the 7th and final frame, unless we go to extras here from Sanford Memorial Field. The Dr. Phillips Panthers lead the Western Wildcats 6-5 as we enter the final frame. It will be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, as here's the pitcher. Started the day in right field and relieved Ryan Pica for the Panthers. This is Ramses DeMaio. Who is 0 for 3, struck out twice and flied out to right, and first pitch to him is up high for ball 1. One out. Hard ground ball, and that's going to sneak into left field, a base hit. So a leadoff single for DeMaio. And that will bring up Maddox Stinson, who was 2 for 3, singled, doubled, had an RBI double, and then stole third base before striking out swinging in his last at bat. So he'll bat with nobody out and a runner on first. First pitch from his Torres. It's in there for a called strike. Is Torres 0-1. Drilled to right center field. Young is back there, and he'll make the catch for the first out. And that's going to bring up Dylan Lynch with 1 out and a runner on. Lynch 0 for 2, lined out to first, struck out looking, walked in between. First pitch, lofted foul down the right field line, 0-1. A 1 pitch. Up high, Falligan back to first, and a good job there by Andreu to go down to his knees and block that from getting by him. This Falligan is clearly a big fan of throwing behind runners. He's done it several times today, but to no success. 1-1. Inside, 2-1. As Torres throws back again. Did they get him? They did! Luis's Torres picks off Ramses DeMaio. And it was DeMaio who picked off the runner at first base to end the 6th inning for the Panthers. So now 2 gone. And Lynch will bat with 2 outs. He does have a 2-1 lead in the in the at-bat. 2-1. Outside, 3 balls and a strike now. Just a costly error there by DeMaio on the base paths. 3-1. Ground ball to shortstop. Fielded cleanly by Morales. The throw is dug out by Andreu, and that will do it. So 1 hit, but nobody left on as we go to the final frame. Bottom of the 7th inning. Dr. Phillips trying to close out the victory. Back here for the bottom of the 7th inning, Ramses DeMaio will look to get the final 3 outs and get Dr. Phillips the win over the Western Wildcats here. Christian Morales, Anthony Beira, and Luis Izturis are the 3 scheduled hitters, barring any changes from Oral Garcia and the Western Wildcats. Morales was at the plate last inning when Beydoun got picked off of first base as he fouls the first pitch off down the left field line, 0-1. Other than that, he is 1 for 2 in this one. He singled in his first at-bat, struck out swinging, and then had an RBI sacrifice fly in his last at-bat. 0-1. Hard ground ball. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Going to go into the corner. Fielded cleanly by Hymas, and he'll get it in. So Morales will stay put with a leadoff single. His second hit of the ball game. And that will bring Anthony Beira to the plate. Beira is 0 for 2. He is struck out swinging twice. Did have a sacrifice fly in his last at-bat as well. And now a little bit of a conversation being had between Oral Garcia and Anir Morales, the pitching coach who came out, and Beira. I'll look to keep things going here. Nobody out and a runner on. And scoring around to Bunny, drops it down, but it'll go back behind home plate, foul, 0-1. DeMaio comes set. Throw back to first, and it gets by the first baseman. Up to second base goes Morales. He'll stay put there. Now he's going to drive for third. And he is going to get there. The throw is late, and all of a sudden the tying run is 90 feet from the plate. A fly ball can tie this game at 6. A throwing error by Ramses DeMaio, the relief pitcher. So now the tying run, 90 feet. Infield now in for the Panthers. Beira, a base hit or a fly ball can tie it. Fly ball to right. Coming in is the right fielder, and it'll drop in foul territory. Bit of a break there for the Panthers, as that one, if it had been fair, would have dropped in for a game-tying RBI single. As it was Scala, the right fielder, who was on his horse trying to get to it. But instead it's now 0-2. In the dirt for ball 1. One, two. Popped up, right side. Second baseman going over and making the catch on the run. He had called off Pedrinen, the first baseman. That is second baseman Maddox Stinson there in a big first out.
Now batting number 23, Luis Izturis.
Well, here is Luis Izturis, who started the game at shortstop, came in relief of Jack Cahall. And now with one out, he has a chance to tie this game with Morales on third. And lofted to left field. In comes Hymas. It'll drop in, and we are tied. Luis Izturis with an RBI bloop single. We're tied at 6 here in the 7th inning.
Now batting number 29, Julian Alvarez.
And that's going to bring up Julian Alvarez. And now the winning run on first base with just one out. A double play here would end the inning and send us to extras. Swing and fouled back by Alvarez off of the catcher's mask of Brody Cohn behind the plate. And umpire takes a few steps out towards DeMaio before flipping him a new ball. Couldn't really tell if there were any words said there, but DeMaio's had a couple colorful reactions to some of the calls he's gotten. A 1. Up high for ball 1. So that one's outside, 2-1. In the dirt, 3 balls and a strike now to Alvarez, who is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the mound, but he's reached in his last 2 at-bats by hit by pitch and walk. 3-1. In the dirt for ball 4. So now the winning run is on second base with 1 out. Is Turris off of second, Alvarez off of first, and here,
Number 8, Donatello Baydoun.
and here is Donatello Baydoun, who was the courtesy runner who got picked off at first base to end last inning. And it looks like we are going to have a mound meeting here. And this looks like, can't tell if it's Zach Busby or John Cohn, but one of the 2 assistant coaches, not Logan Bloom, the head coach for Dr. Phillips out there, which makes me think that Ramses DeMaio will stay in this game. Double play is still in order, but all it does is send us to extras at this point. Meanwhile, a base hit could give Western the walk-off victory. One out. Runners on first and second, excuse me. First pitch. Inside for ball 1. Baydoun hitting .217 this year, no home runs, 3 RBIs. Does have 2 doubles. Swings through that one. 1-1 is the count. One. Swing and a miss. It's now 1-2. Top of the order on deck, Ethan Diaz waits. He's 1 for 3. The double and a walk. 1-2. Inside, and Cohn had it in his glove the entire time and was trying to find it. Can't tell if he was confused or if he was trying to deke out the runners or what, but it's now 2-2. In the dirt, the count is now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Donatello Baydoun. A walk here would load the bases with just 1 out for the top of the order. Payoff pitch. In the dirt, he walked him. And the bases are loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Back-to-back walks.
Now batting number 2, Ethan Diaz.
And here comes Ethan Diaz, the leading hitter for the Wildcats. In this game, he is 1 for 3. doubled and came around to score in his first at bat, walked and stole second before being stranded, grounded out to shortstop and struck out looking. And he has a chance to play hero here. A fly ball could win it if it's deep enough to score Morales from third base. Or excuse me, not Morales, that's Torres from third base. Infield is in. First pitch. Up high for ball one. No bullpen action whatsoever for the Panthers. This is DeMayo's inning. 1-0. Line drive, caught by the second baseman. Can they get the double play? They did! What a break for the Panthers. Maddox Stinson catches the line drive and flips it back to the shortstop, Diego Diaz, to record the double play, and a horrible break for the Wildcats, but we are going to extras, tied at 6. Wow, unbelievable. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back for the start of extra inning play here at Sanford Memorial Stadium. Well, folks, we're back here for the start of the 8th inning, which means we are in extra inning play here, and that means that we are going to have each inning start with a runner on second base, and it will be the batter who recorded the last out of the previous inning. So for the Panthers to start the 8th inning here, it will be Dylan Lynch, the center fielder. He grounded out the shortstop to end the 7th. So he will lead things off at second base. And it will be the top of the order for the Panthers. Diego Diaz will lead things off. It'll be Diaz, Pedrinen, and Jennings. And it is still Luis Torres out there. He goes back to work. And it looks like Oral Garcia. Maybe he's changing around the defensive alignment of his infield here. So Diaz will lead things off, a runner in scoring position. The first pitch is outside, the throw back to second base, goes off the glove of Morales, but it stays around the second base bag, picked up by Noah Graben, the second baseman. So once again, Falligan really likes to throw behind runners, and he decided to start off the 8th inning here with a throw behind attempt. As that is at the letters for a called strike. 1-1 is now the count.
Hey, what time do you guys have your guys coming here? Okay. Would you want to, so, what? I'm in extras right now for this 1:30 game.
1-1.
Which means,
Fly ball down the right field line. It'll go out of play. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2. Outside evens it at 2 apiece.
They would be your home, aren't you?
2-2. There goes the runner for third. Throw down. Not in time. Stolen base there by Dylan Lynch. And a runner on third.
Okay, let me see.
3 balls and 2 strikes now. The go-ahead run just 90 feet from the plate with nobody out. 3-2. Blooped. Caught by the second baseman. That's Graben who makes the catch, which keeps Lynch at third. So a runner on third now for Chris Pedrinen, who is 3 for 4 with 3 singles. Also has scored a run on the throwing error by Torres back in the 5th inning. So RBI opportunity for him here. Just 1 out and a runner on third. It's just above the zone for ball 1. Checked his swing, did not go around, says the home plate umpire. He appeals to second. He agrees. So it's 2-0. Jace Jennings in the on-deck circle for the Panthers. He is 1 for 3. Dropped in on the inside corner for strike 1. 2-1 now the count. The 2-1 pitch. Dropped right in, right over the heart of the plate. Beauty of a pitch there by Torres. It's now 2-2. Just missed off the outside corner to work the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. And seems like some of the Western Wildcat dugout not too happy with the call by the home plate umpire. Pedrien's worked it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball to third. Alvarez diving. He bobbles it, and there will be no throw to first base. It's going to be an infield single and the 4th hit of the day for Pedrien. And what it does do is keep the runner at third. So now runners at the corners with 1 out. The double play is now in order, and here is Jace Jennings. 1 for 3, grounded out to shortstop, singled, walked, and came around to score, and then reached on a fielder's choice in his last at-bat. And now here comes Oral Garcia. And my guess is that this is going to be it for Torres. Hasn't taken the ball from him quite yet. It looks like he's just discussing the infield defensive adjustment. Continued discussion as the umpire will come out to break it up here, it appears. And that'll do it. So they will not, I was incorrect, they will not take the ball from Torres. So he will stay out there with runners at the corners and 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. We are in extras, folks. Dylan Lynch started the inning at second base. Diego Diaz lined out to second. Chris Pedrinen reached on an infield single, and that will bring up Jace Jennings. First pitch is in the dirt for ball 1, 1-0. 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Jennings, the team leader in both home runs and RBIs this season. Big opportunity here to give the Panthers the lead. 2-0. Fouled back. It'll be 2-1. Two one pitch. Check swing. They say he went around. That's strike two. 2 apiece now on Jace Jennings. For Western, it'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in their half of the 8th inning with a runner in scoring position. And there's Torres with a quick fake to third and then back to first. But nothing doing on either part of the diamond. 2-2. Swing and foul back. Jennings just gets a piece of it to stay alive. Two. Ground ball, base hit into center field, and the Panthers take the lead. RBI single by Jace Jennings, his second hit of the day. And up to second base goes Pedrinen. And now it's 7-6, and here's Brody Cone with 1 out and runners on first and second. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI ground out. He's reached on walks in each of his last 2 plate appearances and also scored a run in this one. That one's in the dirt. Falligan taking a peek at both Jennings and Pedrinen, but nothing working. One out. Fly ball in the air to right field. Landon Young racing over, diving, and it's a fair ball. He could not make the catch. And everybody will be safe. It's a bloop single. And Landon Young came in not running all that hard and then picked up speed at the very end. I don't think he saw it very well. And it's going to be 3 consecutive singles. First hit of the day for Brody Cone. And the bases are loaded, and a chance for the Panthers to break this open here in extras. Here is Ryan Pica. He is 2 for 3. He is singled, has an RBI double. He scored 2 runs, and he walked in his last at-bat, lined out to third in his first at-bat. He's hit the ball very well today as the Wildcat infield now comes in. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Edwin Hymas in the on-deck circle. He is 1 for 4 with a 2-run double in this one. One out. Fouled down the right field line, strike 1. One. And a called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. One, 2. Fly ball down the right field line. Young gives it a look, but it'll be out of play. So we'll do the 1-2 one more time. One, 2. Ground ball into center field, a base hit. 1-1 will score. Jennings will be held at third. Everybody goes station to station. 4 consecutive hits. It's the 3rd hit of the day for Ryan Pica, 2nd RBI. And now it's 8-6. Well, Ryan Pica started the day on the mound. Started off well, had 4 strikeouts and just a run allowed, and then left with the bases loaded. Ended up allowing 3 runs on the day, but he has really made up for it in the batter's box. He is now 3 for 4, 2 singles, a run scored, 2 RBIs, a stolen base, and a walk at the plate, as that's going to do it for Luis Torres. In comes number 14, Mason Vance, the 2026 senior. And he will take over on the mound. Vance comes in with a 0 earned run average. He's 0-0 on the season in 4 appearances. He also has a save on the year. But in 5 1/3 innings, he's allowed 4 hits, 1 run, no earned runs, walked 2, and struck out 4.
Number 14, Mason Vance.
And hitters are hitting just 190 against him on the season. So this is a good guy to bring in and potentially stop the bleeding if you're the Wildcats. But 1 out and the bases remain loaded for Edwin Hymas, who had a 2-run double that went over the center fielder's head back in the 5th inning, part of that 4 spot. And that gave the Panthers a 6-1 lead before the Wildcats came storming back with a 4 spot of their own in their half of the 5th. But this inning started with Dylan Lynch in scoring position because we are in extra innings. Then Diego Diaz popped out softly to the second baseman for the first out, and then it's been a single by Chris Pedrinen, a single by Jace Jennings that drove home the run, a single by Brody Cohn that loaded up the bases, and a single by Ryan Pica to drive home Pedrinen. And that is how we got to the 8-6 score, so a 2 spot here in the 8th inning. And that is why Mason Vance is the new pitcher for the Wildcats. As everybody goes back to their stations now. So it'll be Hymas, and then Ramses DeMeo is in the on-deck circle. Came in relief of Pica, who was on first base, and allowed the Wildcats to tie it in their half of the 7th.
Edwin Hymas.
But, so it will be Hymas here, 1 for 4. Flew out to right, grounded out to the mound, had that 2-run double, and then struck out swinging in his last at bat. Bases are loaded. Jennings off of 3rd, Cohn off of 2nd, Pica off of 1st. First pitch is low for ball 1. Actually, that's not Cohn on 2nd. It's Gavin Torres, who's been the courtesy runner for Cohn every time he's reached base. So good speed all around on the base paths for the Panthers. 1-0. And a called strike that's in there. Count even at 1-1. One from Vance. Outside, 2-1. Two-one pitch is up high, and now it's a hitter's count, 3-1 to Hymas with the bases loaded and 1 out here in the 8th. And a chance for the Panthers to really break this thing open here in extra innings. Wildcats will have an opportunity to respond, or they can tie or win it in the bottom of the 8th. But they would need at least 2 runs as of now, as that is outside for ball 4, and that'll bring home a run. So Vance walks home the runner. RBI, 3rd RBI of the day for Hymas as Jennings comes home. 2nd time Jennings has scored in this game. So here is Ramses DeMeo, 1 for 4. He struck out swinging in each of his first 2 at-bats, flew out to right field, and then singled but was picked off at first base last inning in the 7th. So he takes a first pitch strike, going 1. Wildcat infield is on the grass. Ground ball. Alvarez. They'll go to the plate, and they'll get the force out there. So a 5-2 put out, and there are 2 gone here in the 8th inning. Everybody is safe on the base paths. So Pica goes to third, Hamas to second, and DeMaio to first. So here is Maddox Stinson, 2 for 4. And Charles Estrella Roa will pinch hit, or excuse me, will pinch run for Ramses DeMaio, which makes me think that he will not be out there. Oh, well, actually, I don't know. He could be. I shouldn't make assumptions. They might send him back out, but after allowing the Wildcats to tie it, I'd be pretty surprised. But either way, pinch runner at first base now for Stinson. Bases are loaded with 2 outs. Vance trying to get out of this. First pitch is in there for a called strike on 1. Stinson is 2 for 4. Singled in his first at-bat, had an RBI double and a stolen base in his second at-bat. Struck out swinging and then flew out to right field in each of his last 2. 0-1. Bounced in the dirt, kept in front by Falligan. Count even at 1 apiece. One one, and a called strike 2 right down the middle. Vance now a strike away from giving the Wildcats an opportunity in the bottom of the 8th. One two, outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Two. Fly ball in the air to shallow center field. And coming a long way to make the catch is Ethan Diaz, who got on his horse to make the play. So the Panthers do leave him loaded, but they also bring home 2 runs in the inning. RBI single by Ryan Pica and a RBI walk by Edwin Hymas. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 8-6. Dr. Phillips. Back here for the bottom of the 8th inning. It is a 9-6 lead. I do apologize. Before we went to break there, I thought it was 8-6 lead, but I had forgotten about the ghost runner on second base to start the inning. So it is a 9-6 Dr. Phillips lead, and it is Ramses DeMaio back out there trying to shut the door here in this one as Ethan Diaz leads off at second base. So it'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Landon Young, Jorge Falligan, and Gavin Andreu. First pitch. Just low for ball 1.
Yeah, I'll push for the start by 5:30.
And a called strike there evens the count at 1 apiece.
Okay. All right, back.
1-1. Foul back on top of the stadium top here. It'll be 1-2. Panthers 3 outs away from earning the extra inning victory. Inside, 2-2 now. Two and two to Landon Young, who's 1 for 4 in this one. Grounded out to third, grounded out to short, singled, and struck out. 2-2. High fly ball in the air to left field. Hymas coming in. Out goes the shortstop, and Diaz makes the catch on the outfield grass. And there's one away.
Now batting Jorge Falligan.
Here's Jorge Falligan, who is 1 for 2, had that RBI single back in the first inning, grounded out to shortstop, and then has walked in each of his last 2 plate appearances. And then it was Donatello Baydoun who pinch ran for him and was picked off at first base back in the 6th inning. First pitch. Popped up, right side. Over and into foul territory. Making the running grab is Stinson. Nice running play by Maddox Stinson. And there are 2 gone. And all of a sudden, the Western Wildcats are down to their final out, and it is in the form of Gavin Andreu. Came into this game hitting .528 with 6 doubles and 15 runs batted in. He is 2 for 4 with 2 singles and a run scored. He's also flied out to left field twice. So he'll bat with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, down by 3. And that is on the inside corner for strike 1. 0-1 now. A 1. Grounded foul down the third baseline. So Wildcats are down to their final strike. 0-2 on Gavin Andreu. Ramses DeMeo trying to shut the door after blowing the save opportunity in the 7th inning and allowing the Wildcats to tie it. And worked his way out of a bases-loaded jam, and that's how we got to the 8th. 0-2. Ground ball foul. We'll do it again. One strike, 1 out away, the Panthers are. 0-2. Check swing, and he did get a piece of it. It's another foul ball, so we'll do the 0-2 one more time. Oh and 2, the pitch. Lined into right center field, on the run and making the catch, and that will do it. This one is over. Dylan Lynch makes the grab in center field, and the Dr. Phillips Panthers beat the Western Wildcats 9-6 in 8 innings here from Sanford Memorial Field, and that does it.
The final score, Dr. Phillips 9, Western 6.
Winning pitcher for the Panthers is Ramses DeMeo. Losing pitcher will be Luis Torres. And player of the game in this one for the Panthers is going to have to be Chris Pedrainen, who goes 4 for 5 with 4 singles and 2 runs scored in this one. So that's going to do it here from Sanford Memorial Stadium. We will have another game coming up in about 30 minutes to 40 minutes here, and it will be between Flagler Palm Coast and St. Cloud. And so it'll be about a 5:30 start time right back here on the FloridaLeagueTournaments.com. So please be back here with us for that. It will be me on the call. And once again, that'll be for Flagler Palm Coast versus St. Cloud. But once again, here from Sanford Memorial Stadium, the Dr. Phillips Panthers beat the Western Wildcats 9-6. And my name has been Will Barbera. Thanks so much for joining us here this afternoon. We'll be back in about a half hour for the start of Flagler Palm Coast versus St. Cloud. We'll see you then.